I called him madman because the things he was proposing to do I thought would get him cooked like a French fry, and it may do that. I have, thanks to my producer, Heather Wade, located Madman. We've got him secreted away to a very special location where he can do an interview. That's right, Madman Markum. Mike Markum is here. Thank God. Frankly, I thought he had toasted himself, and of course you can't ever rule that out with this young man. So that's where we're going tonight. We're going to interview Madman Markum. In a moment, coming up is a man that you probably haven't heard, maybe on tape. A lot of people have reviewed the interview of Madman years ago, but certainly you have not heard him in years. Been a long time. 20 years ago, right? The first interview, and then 18 years ago?
Yep, something like that.
Something like that. All right. Gee, Mike, it's hard to know where to begin with you. Even back then it was hard. You connected, I think, with us. Probably we were doing an open lines thing on time travel. Is that how we got together?
It's been so long, I hardly remember.
That was probably it.
If I remember right, somebody faxed you a newspaper article about me, and you basically hunted me down. So
that's right, I hunted you down like a dog. Okay, so at that moment when I found you, Mike, and I do, I use the term madman affectionately, right?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me any. So
it's kind of stuck though, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. So. Anyway, well earned, really. When I found you at that moment, you were experimenting, the beginnings of experimental time travel, and you sort of laid it out for me. So if you can remember how you began, tell us.
Well, way back when, basically, I just set out to make a fancy Jacob's ladder. So basically, two metal rods, spark going up the high voltage spark going up the middle. That's basically like the old Frankenstein movies or whatever.
Right. That was the first step, and if I recall correctly, you then modified it with lasers to.
Yeah, basically, I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I decided to basically take a laser and have the laser ignite the arc. So.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, the original one was about how tall? Not that tall.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't all that powerful. I mean, it was. I used clothes hanger wires, so I think it was something like a couple kilowatts.
A couple of kilowatts, okay.
Yeah, and I had no way to measure the laser power, but it was hot enough. I mean, it was hot enough to where it lowered the resistance of the air to get an arc started. So.
And that arc was about how big?
It's 20,000 volts at about 100 milliamps, so probably at the longest at the top before it extinguished, probably 7 or 8 inches long.
All right. So. Now, with that early experiment, Mike, was there that little thing appearing above the Jacob's ladder?
Yeah, it didn't exactly work as I expected it would. Basically, what happened was when I fired the laser, the spark stuck where the laser was, and right above it there was like a little shimmering mirage effect, like anything like a road in the desert, I guess you could say.
Sure.
But this was like a small circular, spherical looking. So I ended up, it's like, whoa, this looks strange. So basically I was wondering, what am I looking at here? So,
what have I done?
Yeah, so I decided to test it because I still had some parts laying around. I decided to toss a screw into it and see what if anything happened.
Toss a screw into
the little circular shimmering thing
that was above the ladder.
Yeah, I mean, I almost didn't notice it. I mean, basically, it was almost invisible. So, but anyhow, I tossed it in there, and the screw disappeared. and then roughly half a second later or so, it reappeared where it would normally be landing.
So obviously, being a scientist, you thought, I'm sure, I'm probably nuts, and I missed it, and so you tried it again, I'm sure, right away.
Oh, yeah, I tried it several times, and I had the same thing. It did the same thing every time. And I'm like, whoa, I got to get a video. I got to get a camcorder and record this thing, and it's about not even 10 seconds within that thought, my laser overheated and basically caught fire. So,
where did you get the laser? I mean, at this early stage, you had no, money really. So, where do you even get the laser?
That's doing things on the cheap like this. Things tend not to last very long, and that's basically what happened. The laser overheated. I more or less salvaged. It was a diode laser out of a CD player. So
okay. At this point, you had not yet had your run-in with the law, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah. Long story short, basically, I ended up. It's like, well, if I got to rebuild this thing, let's go ahead and make it bigger.
Right, so what you had was blown up, sort of. I guess there were some salvageable parts, but the laser was all gone.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I could probably just use a CO2 laser. I mean, those tend to be high power to begin with, expensive, but at least it would last longer.
I do have this question. Did you come to a conclusion, after throwing that screw through a few times, about what was happening to it?
Well, I mean, at first I'm thinking, okay, maybe did I just see what I think I saw? I mean, at first I couldn't. Basically, it's like, am I going nuts?
Of course.
Did I just hallucinate? Yeah, I mean, at first I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm just making it invisible or whatever. But then basically I didn't hear it hit the table. So if it's like cloaking it or whatever, it was cloaking the sound too.
Right. So at this point, Mike, were you endeavoring to produce some kind of time travel? Is that what you thought you were doing, or did you not know what you were doing?
Well, I mean, basically, like I said, when I first discovered this, I was just making a fancy Jacob's Ladder / light show. So
okay.
I didn't set out to actually go out and build a time. It's like, I want to build a time machine. Let's try this.
Right.
That's not the way it happens. So
this is the way great experiments are formed. It starts off like this. So here you are, a burned-up laser. You need more parts. You need more power. Yeah. Obviously, the screw had to have gone somewhere. I mean, did you even begin to theorize and think, well, where in the hell did that thing go?
Yeah, I mean, at first I think maybe I just made it invisible, but then I thought, well, if it was just invisible, I'd still hear it hit the see, this whole contraption was basically sitting on a makeshift table, 4x8 sheet of plywood.
Right.
So
even invisible is cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, they can actually do that these days with metamaterials, but not in 1995. So that had been a major discovery anyway. So
sure. So either way, it's cool. Time travel, disappearing, becoming invisible, going to a different spot. All of it is cool, and you can't account for it with any known science that I'm aware of. So anyway, you decided you needed bigger and stronger and more powerful everything.
Yep. And, well, long story short, I mean, the transformer I used for this, I wound myself. I'm surprised that didn't catch fire, too, because only at the time, back then, in 1995, I didn't have internet access. So basically, if I wanted to learn how to do something, I had to learn trial and error. I mean, if I built something, it blew up. I knew not to build it that way. No.
Yeah, winding yourself is problematic at the very least.
Well, these days I have internet access. See, I mean, the basic formulas to build a transformer have been around since the 1840s, but in 1995, with no internet access, I didn't know about the universal EMF equation. So that's basically where you start.
Right.
So, and if I was calling, before I had internet access, I was trying to call around and ask. How do I build this thing? Call around and ask the transformer factories, I want to build this transformer. How do I do it? What formulas do I use? They didn't want to tell me that, but they wanted to sell me a transformer. So.
Of course. So you ended up just winding your own.
Yep, through trial and error.
Okay, well, obviously you needed more oomph. You needed more power. And I guess that's when, and bear in mind, folks, at that, how old were you then, Mike?
21.
21. 21 years old. And I think, were you working then? I don't think you were.
Yeah, actually, I was working at the local, I don't even remember the name of the, Industrial Lumber Sales, I think was the name of the place was.
That's right. But not rich.
No, not by a long shot.
Not by a long. Okay. So at some point, your 21-year-old brain said, transformer, where can I get a transformer or two? And that's, I guess, when you came up with the idea of looking around for a spare power company transformer.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's like, well, I need more KVAs. It's like, a pole transformer. Those are powerful enough.
They certainly are.
So anyhow, there's in King City. At the time, I was living in Stanbury, Missouri, and King City, about maybe 10 or 12 miles south of there. There was like half a dozen of them just standing outside the fence in the substation that powers all of King City. It was just outside the substation, so it's like...
Obviously not in use at the time.
No, I've heard of people actually attempting to take them off poles, and I've never heard of a successful attempt from that.
Not a good idea at all.
No.
And these were just, sitting on the ground?
I'm sitting on like a little makeshift bench outside the fence. Obviously, I guess they were used for spares. Some of them were just taken out of service due to their age. So. Sure.
And you saw them sitting there, and they were saying to you, come here, Mike, get me.
I mean, it's like, well, if the local utility aren't going to use them, I can. So,
so you loaded up, what did you do, take a truck over there?
I paid basically a friend / coworker of mine, and he had a pickup truck, so I basically paid him basically $100 to drive down there and help me pick these things up, because these things aren't light. I mean, when the utility picks them up on the pole, they got a crane to do it.
Oh yeah.
So they weigh like 250 and 350 pounds each, so they're not light.
How did you even get them up on the truck? I guess it took how many of you?
3 of us. Basically, it was him, him and a friend of his, and me. So.
Well.
And it was still basically a struggle to get him in there. So, but we managed. So.
You know, Mike, the police would usually call those people co-conspirators or something else.
Yeah. I mean, I more or less. Basically told them, hey, I'm the mastermind. Don't basically, of course they're not going. They'll take that into consideration, but they're not going to say, oh, you're the main guy that did it. They're not just going to let everybody else go.
Anyway, you got away with them, right?
Obviously, I ended up doing the most time, but they didn't get off scot-free. So.
I see. Yeah, you did do some time. There's no question about that. So you got these transformers and you got them back to your apartment?
Yeah, I was living in a house.
In a house, okay. Yeah. And how long did you have the transformers before, on the door?
Probably, I'm going from rough memory here. I want to say like anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, maybe.
Oh, 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, so that's...
I remember taking him in January, then getting arrested like at early, maybe in February, I think. No, I got arrested January 29th. Actually, it may have been December when I took those.
Well,
it was
now...
long ago. I don't know the exact date.
Sure, that's fine. I'm now interested in the time between when you got them to your house and you got arrested. Were you able to actually fire one of them up?
Yeah, I mean... Kind of, sort of. Basically, one of them I couldn't use with the rest of them because eventually I was going to basically wire them all together. Well, I couldn't use. I didn't see there was like half a dozen of them, so it's like I was only going to take a couple, and I figured same. Basically, if I get busted, this is going to be about the same amount of time, no matter what, anyway. So I might as well take the rest. Basically, I got greedy. So.
Well, tell people a transformer of this sort that goes on a pole. Typically converts, 14,000, 15,000 volts. It depends on what kind of pole it is.
Yeah, well, that's why. Yeah, I mean, that's the reason I couldn't use one of them, so I ended up converting it into a piggy bank. So, because it was an old one. I mean, it was only rated at 2,400 volts. And I had 2,400 volt lines in forever.
Yeah,
like 50 years. So
the one that you actually used was what?
Well, a bunch of them were 7,200 / 12,470 Y.
So you're basically using them backwards and then putting them in series, right?
Yeah, what they do is step power line voltage down to 240 for your house. Well, I was basically feeding it backwards, putting 240 in it and getting 12,000 out of it.
That's right. And then going, I guess, so you used only one, or did you actually have them in? Eventually,
I was going to wire them. Basically, I was then eventually going to use 4 of them and basically link them, parallel the primaries and series the secondaries. So and get like 50,000 volts out of it that way.
You never did that?
No, I ended up getting busted.
Before that, okay. But you did do, I guess you got to do some experiments with one transformer wired up?
Yep. And, well, basically these days I know to use some sort of ballast or whatever, because if you short it out without a ballast, it'll draw about 20 times what it's rated for.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, and it was a 25 kVA oh, wait a minute. I mean, no, that one was sitting in the living room. I was only using I think a 10 kVA was on the back porch at the time.
Uh-huh.
So, but without a ballast, 10 kVA times, that's 200,000 watts. So.
Right. That's right.
Anyhow, when you draw that kind of power, you end up crashing a good-sized chunk of the grid. I didn't crash it altogether, but I was browning out a good-sized chunk of the town. So,
yeah, which they didn't pop you for, right?
Believe it or not, that is not exactly what caught the. Basically, I mean, they knew something. What the heck's going on with a power grid? That's what the local utility supervisor was wondering what the heck's happening. So,
yeah. But you didn't do jail time for that.
No.
Okay.
Well, it was, I mean, it was for the theft. It wasn't because I was basically making the power grid go nuts. So.
Okay, well, tell me, let's see, where to go? Slow down, Art. You obviously had to feed all that voltage and current to a new Jacob's ladder that you had put together, right?
Yeah, and I couldn't use clothes hanger wire for that because it would simply melt the wire because it was
too much.
Yeah, I mean, it was at 12,000 volts at several amps. So.
Okay, so what are you using now for the ladder?
I think it was like half-inch metal rod. So.
Good idea.
Aluminum. So yeah.
Yeah, good idea. Okay. What about laser? Did you still fire it with a laser?
Well, that's another thing too. Basically, what I ended up doing is I ended up rebuilding the CD laser, I guess you could say. Actually, what I did is I ended up starting another one. Just got another CD player. So.
Yeah, they're cheap.
And what I was going to do, it's like, oh, here's a CO2 laser tube that this guy had, and I was like, I was going to end up eventually save my money and buy that, but there was like $1,000, so I was going to take a while. So.
Yeah. So, all right, you fire this one up, and that's the point where you sort of denigrated the grid of the town.
Yeah. Basically, it was browning
out the town.
Yeah, well, not the whole town. At first, I thought it was the whole town. But as many complaints I was hearing at work, it's like, hey, you got to, because I was basically all my coworkers were saying, hey, basically, you got to be careful about that. My lights were going out. And that guy, and basically, this guy lived like several blocks from me, so it wasn't like a local area. So. Yeah,
those kind of power outages are really bad. The brownouts kind of can damage stuff.
Yeah, it was like, well, the 120 volt outlets was dropping down to 80 or 90, so that's good. And they were asked, basically, the utility supervisor was going around town asking all the industrial people
what they were doing.
Yeah, if they were doing any heavy welding or whatever. So
the power company would know sort of the general area from which this problem was emanating.
Yeah, well, I mean, Stanbury's a small town at the time. If I remember, it only had like 12, maybe 1,000, not even 1,000 people in it. So. I don't even think they had a stoplight, so.
Certainly not after that experiment, anyway. All right, so Mike, what happened with this bigger ladder?
Well, I mean, as far as making things disappear with it, I'm not sure. I mean, I didn't really have to basically get to a chance to do a lot with it before I ended up getting busted.
Oh my!
So, but I did make a couch disappear. But that's the weird part is basically a couch disappeared, but I didn't see anybody. I didn't toss in the couch, and the thing wasn't on at the time when it disappeared. So.
Well, what else could you possibly attribute a missing couch to?
Well, I mean, at the time it disappeared, I did have a few friends over, and basically, I mean, we had like a little
party.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's like, and at first I thought they were playing a prank on me because they knew about at the time before the media caught wind of what I was doing. I only told like four or five of my closest friends about it. So.
All right, so how did you get busted? Did they knock on the door suddenly? I mean, how did this happen? Did somebody else give you up?
What happened was basically a relative of a friend of mine. He's not exactly basically a genius. He decided to take a BB gun. A friend of mine said, basically loaned me his BB gun or whatever.
Yeah.
And, well, this other friend of basically a relative of a friend of mine, basically I had him over. I can't remember what the heck he was there for. But anyhow, long story short, he finds a BB gun and decides to shoot birds with it. Thing is, though, when he was doing that, he wasn't thinking of what was behind the birds, and he ended up shooting a couple holes there across and my neighbor's sliding glass door across the street. So I got them calling in a vandalism. So I got the cops calling in vandalism, and that got them snooping around. So.
Well, did you call the cops?
No, it wasn't me.
It wasn't you. All right, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Art.
All right, so here we are, somebody with a BB gun committing vandalism. Somebody calls the cops come, look at the vandalism, and then how do they get you?
Well, these transformers, they're pretty big. They're about the size of a trash can. So. Oh yeah. They're kind of. I mean, I guess I don't know if the local utility already reported the transformer stolen or whatever, but not just everybody has a transformer, like a utility pole transformer sitting in their living room. So they're probably wondering what the heck is going on here.
So they were able to look in. What did they do? Knock on your door? I mean,
they came in with a search warrant, searching for a BB gun, and I guess they were. Well, that was actually. I think if I remember right, the transformers were on the search warrant too. So what they were looking for, and well, they made no effort to hide them. So. Well,
I don't know where you'd put them. I don't know where you'd put them anyway. They're too big.
Yeah, I mean, long story short, I basically got busted red-handed. So.
Okay. All right. So in you go. They sweat you, I'm sure, for your buddies' names and all that kind of stuff, and then eventually you have a court date, right?
Yep. Ended up doing 60 days in jail and 5 years probation. So.
Oh my God, 5 years probation, and that brings another thing to mind.
Well, I mean, it was a Class C felony with just because of the value of them. So.
Yeah. Well, anyway, somehow I remember your parole officer actually called my show.
Yeah, it was actually the arresting officer, Tom. What is his name? I can't remember.
He's actually a good guy.
So yeah. I mean, it's a small town. Everybody knew everybody long before all this went down. So.
Okay, well, so he's part of the legend now.
Yeah, and I didn't. Yeah, it's like, man, I didn't make basically a resist arrest, and basically we don't hold. He was just doing his job, so I don't hold a grudge against him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So the power company gets their transformers back. You go away for 60 days. That must have screwed up your life, but good, because by then, I don't know, you probably don't have a job anymore.
Yeah, my former employer thought I contaminated his plant with PCBs, so I don't think he wanted me to come back after that. Jeez. So.
All right, so that's the early Madman story, and I thought. And I called you Madman because I was convinced you were going to absolutely fry yourself alive and turn into a French fry. There are other people who have been involved in time travel, Mike, that I've had on the show, and honest to God, Mike, they're gone. I don't know where they are, whether it's Teeter or Anderson, others that we've had on the show, they're gone. I mean, they're gone. You can't find them. Anyway, so we need to come up to date from the story back then. I know that after I did the show with you, you you gave out your phone number and address and stuff on the air, right?
Yeah.
By the way, that was you. You volunteered to do that. Remember?
Yep.
I didn't make you do that.
No.
I want that on the record.
Yeah, I figured out what bad could happen.
Now you know.
Yeah.
And good. I mean, it was good and bad.
Learns through experience.
Yeah, and so at this point, you're out of jail. You want to build something even bigger and better. And there was a good aspect of your being on the show. I mean, you got donations, you got money from people, and help from people. You got some, I believe you got some transformers, right?
Yeah. Transformer laminations, so I could build my own. So. Right. That's
a lot of help, actually.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I got some money out of it, but most of it was actually equipment. So.
And I believe somehow you also came up with a warehouse.
Yeah, that was the beauty of it. Basically, this guy said, "Well, you pay the own electric bill, but you can basically right now it's empty. You can do what you want here for a few months." So it's like, okay, cool, thanks.
Were you yet re-employed at that point, or?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the place, but yes, I did have a job. That's when I got out of jail. I ended up, I was kind of a pariah in Stanbury, so.
Why were you a pariah?
I mean, it's a small town. There's not that many jobs there to begin with, so I ended up moving to St. Joseph's when I got out of jail. So.
Well, I would think after the show you would have been almost a hero in town. But you say pariah.
Not everybody is like, he's the nutcase that built the time machine. So.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. So you were now at a new location, and now you've got a warehouse, and you've got enough money to be dangerous. So you, at this point, start building what?
Long story short, I realized that actually I did a lot of thinking in jail. When I was in jail, what could have caused this? I mean, 60 days in jail, that gives me a lot of time to think.
It does.
So I ended up basically, long story short, I realized that it would be more efficient if I used magnetic. Because I was thinking maybe it's rotating plasma that causes this.
Right.
So I figured, okay, maybe it'll be more efficient if I use instead of using basically heat from a laser in a cold room, the differential, the temperature difference between those two to stir the plasma, maybe even more efficient if I use the magnetic field to stir it. So that's what I ended up doing.
Use the magnetic field to do what?
Basically, it's in simple terms, this thing looks like basically a plasma tornado. So, how
do you form a plasma tornado?
Basically, this thing looks like I think on when I told you about this during the second interview, like back in late '96, early '97, I can't remember when it was. Basically, it looks like you called it a Stargate. It's not really. Well, it doesn't exactly look like Stargate SG-1, but because it's vertical instead of horizontal. So.
Okay, but again, what formed it?
What I ended up using was a bunch of cascaded transformers.
Cascaded transformers. So how much at that point? How much voltage were you producing?
3 million volts at 1 amp, but there was 24 phases. So.
3 million volts at an amp.
Yep.
Good God, that's enough.
Yeah, that was basically big spark. So.
And you were pulling this from the power company. This time, I presume.
Well, not all of it from the power company. Basically, I had generators too. Basically, I was trying to avoid raising the stink with the utility, so I learned from that too. So.
Yes. Okay. So you built a large Jacob's ladder. I mean, this time, how big?
Well, at this point, it wasn't really a purpose Jacob's ladder. Basically, it was what it was Basically two screen, concentric, like two cylinders, one cylinder inside the other.
Right.
With a magnetic, with another, basically a circle of magnetic electromagnets around it, stirring it. The whole, basically, so basically you got a bunch of plasma inside of it with a magnetic field rotating it.
You know what you are describing. I'm sure you've heard stories of the Philadelphia experiment, right?
Yeah.
Well, they described a similar electronic setup with regard to the rotating magnetic fields. Is this where, I mean, did you get any of that story? I mean, is that where some of your idea came from?
Not directly. I mean, I've heard of it basically, but I didn't know. I knew they used RF. Well,
right.
I was at the other side of the spectrum. I was using low frequencies. So
Okay.
in the plasma, it wasn't just like from my original Jacob's ladder. It was just plain old 60 hertz sine wave AC that you get from any outlet. Well, this was I was using square waves where I could actually. It was easy. Controlling the duty cycle is easy to control the voltage that way.
Right.
So because you can't really find. It's hard to find variacs rated at megawatts. So
Man, I'll tell you, if you were using square waves, I bet the ham operators heard you for miles.
Well, that was the beauty of the warehouse. It was metal, so it acted as a Faraday cage.
Okay. Did you wind all these electromagnets yourself?
Yep.
So you must have been like in that warehouse every day working.
Oh, yeah. I mean, basically, I lived in St. Joseph, Missouri, but the warehouse itself, if I remember right, was in Overland Park, Kansas, which is basically a suburb of Kansas City. So.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and that was a long commute. So most of the time, I just hung out. At the warehouse. Most of the time, I just ate and slept at the warehouse. So.
Right, got it. 3 million volts at an amp. So. You've got these rotating magnetic fields, and then you said a cylinder inside a cylinder.
Yeah, instead of just two metal rods,
right.
With a spark in between. Basically, at any one time, there's actually 23 sparks because it's actually each one of those 3 million volts.
Right.
There are 15 degrees out. There's 24 phases, 15 degrees out of phase. It's like 3-phase industrial power, 120 degrees out of phase for that.
Right.
Well, this was like 24 phases, 15 degrees.
Wow.
Each other. So.
Okay, so two of these separated in a Jacobs-like ladder configuration, right?
Yeah.
And then these rotating magnetic fields. By now, you're using a lot of power.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I couldn't. I mean, the warehouse had, if I remember right, the warehouse had 400 amp three-phase 480 available, but even that couldn't do it all by itself. So,
didn't you at some point think, look, what I'm working with here is not just a little dangerous; it's kill me dead dangerous.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it only takes
one mistake.
50 to 100 milliamps to kill you, and
that's
this
right.
is an amp. So.
Yeah, that's right.
And it only takes and with that kind of current, it only takes maybe a couple thousand volts to get that kind of current flowing through you, and this is 3 million. So.
Oh, yeah, I think in the electric chair it's like 2,500 volts, something like that.
Yeah.
This is 3 million volts at an amp. Oh, God. All right, so it took you how long to build this thing to the point where you were ready to test?
Oh, geez. I would say probably 18 months, I guess.
18 months.
Yeah. But basically, the guy that owned the warehouse, the deal was like maybe 3 months or so, and it ended up he kept like, well, this is pretty cool. Okay, I'll go ahead and let you stay a little longer. So go ahead and stay a little longer.
So he actually came and checked out your act?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I figured, well, he's nice enough to let me live in the warehouse. I'd let him out, basically let him watch too. So.
Sure. Did he want to see the big test?
Well, yeah. I mean, him and basically everybody that donated stuff, I more or less let them in on the project. So.
Okay. Wow. All right. So. I remember talking to you.
Altogether, I think there was like 25, maybe 30 people. So
for the big test.
Yeah.
I really wanted to come out there myself, and I've got to be honest with you, Mike. I thought you were dead for a long time.
You know what? I bet the people that donated too. Once I ended up disappearing, but we're getting ahead of ourselves, I think.
We are a little bit, but honestly, I thought you were dead. I thought you were gone. I was pretty sure you'd fried yourself, or that you had been. And I thought about this too, Mike. That you might have been successful, and you might be in a different time. And anyway, let's continue. So the big test comes. All these people are watching. You fire the generators up. You've got the incoming power. And what was your test going to be?
Well, at first I was tossing basically hamsters and guinea pigs in it. So.
Really?
Yeah,
living things.
With small things before. I'm not just going to. I mean, at the time, I had basically a more almost infinite risk tolerance, I guess you could put it.
Infinite risk tolerance. Well, anyway, okay. So hamsters and guinea pigs. How did they fare? I mean, what happened to them?
Well, basically, instead of basically like the original experiment where I made a screw disappear for half a second. Well,
right.
These guinea pigs, they were disappearing for anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes, and they were basically either 50 and 150 yards east or west of where they disappeared.
East or west of the point of disappearance, but not north or south?
Nope. And basically, as far as why, I'm thinking it has something to do with the Earth's magnetic field. That's the only thing I can think of. So.
Well, that's interesting. And they would show up how far away from the test point?
Between 50 and 150 yards.
So people had to go out and hunt for these things.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, okay, this disappeared. Let's see where it showed up at. I mean, at first it was just what I did is I did some low-power tests and basically made it disappear farther and farther away.
Right.
So. And yeah, but
so you had witnesses.
As it expect, basically, the further away it was, the harder it was to find them.
Sure, but I mean, you had witnesses at that point, or not? Yes, you did. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
and I was actually getting video of all this stuff. So
you have that video.
Well, that's what sucks. We'll get to that part eventually,
all right.
But.
All right, anyway, you were getting video of it, and you were tossing these animals through. How big was this thing at this point?
Oh, it was basically, going from memory, I would say about the outer diameter of it was about 17 feet, maybe 15 feet tall.
Really?
It was 35 feet off the ground. Basically, 3 million volts is difficult to insulate. Now, basically having I was actually part of the reason for the 24-phase stuff because basically adjacent phases are a lot less voltage than 3 million.
Sure.
But in reference to ground, it's still 3 million volts. So, and 3 million volts will jump 27 feet. So.
Oh my God! So 35 feet, you say, above?
Yeah, it was raised. The whole contraption where the hot part of it was 35 feet off the ground, off the floor. So. And the thing itself was 15, basically from the bottom of it to the top of it was about 15 feet. So
these people and you could observe these animals disappearing and then find them. And when you found them, were they intact?
Yeah, I mean, they were perfectly fine as far as I could tell. I mean, obviously they can't talk and report me and tell me how they feel or anything, but yeah. But as far as like physical condition, they were fine. So
what? At that point, Mike, I'm sure you began to think, we're in another realm here. I mean, what we're doing with these animals at this point is what? They disappear, they reappear elsewhere. So did they travel in time? They certainly traveled in space, and they certainly disappeared. So at this point, what are we talking about?
Well, I don't know. At first, I didn't know if it was see, that's the problem. Basically, sometimes it took hours to find these things, And I don't know if that was because they were gone for hours and we just happened to now find them, or basically we just found them. They were like gone that whole they were gone that whole time. Or,
I understand, right?
So I mean the smaller scale stuff. What was happening? Basically, they were disappeared and then they reappear again. So
right. So it's hard to tell if they ran from where they appeared.
Yeah.
Outside and
well, I mean, with the inanimate objects, basically, I mean, at first I was trying like basically things like baseballs, fruit, stuff like that. So. And
the same thing happened to the inanimate objects. They showed up.
Obviously, that stuff's not going to run. So.
No. But where did it show up?
Same place. I mean, the small scale. The low power test, basically anywhere from a few feet to a few yards from where they disappeared. So
the higher the voltage and power, the further away they would go.
Yeah, well, I mean, keep in mind. Plus, that's another thing I was trying to figure out is what exactly controls where this stuff shows up at. Was it the voltage or the power, or was it the speed of the rotating magnetic field, or what?
So, Mike, welcome back. Somebody asks a question. It goes back. Otis wanting to know, how do BB gun shots warrant a search warrant? Well, remember, on that search warrant also were the transformers, which means either they knew ahead of time. Did you ever find out, Mike, did they know ahead of time, or did they go over there and say, ooh, look at that, let's go get a search warrant?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is just a guess, but I'm guessing. My guess is that the guy that got busted for the BB thing, he more or less spilled the beans on me to so he could get a lighter sentence or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what my guess is. I never have figured out exactly what happened, though.
All right, do me a favor and back about an inch away from the phone. It's really a good connection, actually.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can. I hear you fine. It just eliminates the popping. Okay. All right, so now here we are. You're experimenting with animals. They're turning up elsewhere. They're disappearing and then turning up elsewhere. So you've got to sit down and start. I'm sure you were asking yourself, okay, so what the hell's happening here? What am I doing to these creatures? Obviously they're okay, but is it time travel? Is it just shifting? Is it disappearance and shifting of location? Or, I mean, you had to begin to wonder about the theory of what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, the low power tests, they were actually, well, they weren't just stopping once, like disappear in the center of the tornado and reappear like nearby right away. Sometimes they would disappear for a minute, sometimes 2 minutes. So.
Well, when did you begin considering? I remember interviewing you, and you were considering yourself. You were considering trying this thing yourself, and that's kind of what I last remember, and that's why I thought you were dead.
Yeah, I got pretty confident. I got pretty bold and confident after so many successful tests. There was one test where I tried a grapefruit or an orange. I can't remember what it was. It was something similar to that, some citrus fruit, and that was never retrieved. So I don't know if it ended up in space, disintegrated, or what, but.
Huh.
So, but I tossed. If I remember right, I tossed in like 200 objects, animals altogether. There was like 200 some odd tests. So.
Boy, that warehouse must have
unretrieved objects. So.
Okay, that warehouse must have smelled like ozone.
Oh my God! Basically, I had to. There's in the roof, if I remember right, or near the top of the roof, there was like ventilation fans, and we had to keep those running to keep from poisoning everybody with nitrous oxide. So.
All right, so. Now take me forward as you will, because I kind of don't know what happened next. I thought you were going to jump into this thing, and I thought you were going to fry alive, and that's like the last thing I remember.
Well, yeah, eventually, I ended up testing it on myself because, like I said earlier, basically hamsters and guinea pigs can't talk.
No.
So.
No, you had to give an awful lot of thought before trying it yourself. I mean, for one thing, a hamster or a guinea pig is really small compared to a human
well,
being.
That's a concern because the inside diameter of this thing is only like 5 feet across. So and keep in mind the top of this thing is like 50 feet off the ground. So, and well, if it doesn't work, if I jump in and it doesn't work, I'll probably break my legs or my neck. So,
absolutely. So there's so many points of failure. You could jump through and keep going, and as you point out, hit the floor and break probably your neck and be dead. Or you could jump through. Part of you would touch the wrong thing, and what would have happened to you if you'd done that?
Well, that's the most of the as far as the electricity goes, most of it I wasn't about to test the theory and find out, but the inner electrode, I guess you could say, was grounded. So, but usually if you touch a grounded object with that kind of voltage, you're going to get a piece. You won't necessarily get the whole 3 million basically 3 megawatts, but you'll still get a piece of it, and probably enough to kill you. So.
Sure. So you climbed up, and I can't even imagine. I mean, you had everything turned on, humming like crazy, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably, what were you, on a ladder?
Cherry picker.
A cherry picker. So here you are on a cherry picker, and you got to figure out how to jump out of the cherry picker and through.
Yep, I ended up just crawling on top of the bucket. So.
Yeah, and how long did you sit there and think about it before you jumped?
Well, that's the thing. I figured if I had to think about it too long, I'm going to chicken out here. I mean, normally, like I said, I had almost infinite risk tolerance at the time. I mean, somebody dared me to do something, no matter what it was, I'd probably do it. So, I mean, a lot of 20-year-olds are like that. So
they are, and a lot of them never make 30.
Yeah, but ended up, I don't know. I guess I thought of it about a minute or two. Basically, I made sure the camera was right. Because, like I said, if I would have thought about it too much, I would have said, "Okay, this is dumb. I'm not doing it."
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, why not? I mean, this is an obvious question to me. I would have some kind of cushioning, like they do with stuntmen, where they have cardboard boxes and other stuff, so that if you did hit the floor, you might live.
Well, keep in mind the only thing insulating the bottom of this was air. If I stuck anything below, there's between the bottom of that thing and the floor is basically 3 million volts trying to get to ground. It basically burned anything you set under. Basically, you put underneath it.
Oh, that's right.
So I mean, even with 35 feet of distance, you get a lot of corona. So
absolutely. Well, 35 feet is definitely enough to kill you if you land the wrong way, and probably kill you no matter what.
Yeah.
All right, so you climb up on the bucket, and you jump. And then what?
Well, long story short, it feels like I got hit with a flashbang, and I wake up, and I'm 800 miles east of there, and 2 years later. So that's basically, there ain't no other way to put it.
800 miles east, and 2 years gone.
Yeah, well, basically what I did, I more or less, it's not very scientific in hindsight, but what I did is cranked everything basically to the max. So, because I wanted to make sure that I actually leaped rather than hit the floor. So,
so when you woke up, did you have memory of what you had done? I mean, what condition were you in when?
Well, when I came through the other side, so to speak, I had total amnesia. That EMF and all that magnetism basically messed with my brain. So
I'm sure it would. I believe, like other mammals, we have magnetite, don't we, in our brains?
Well, I mean, it's basically your brain's electrochemical. So
right.
Basically, magnets will mess with electric fields. So.
Right. So how could you possibly have gone 200 miles? And it was east, you say?
Yeah, well, yeah, this was in Overland Park, Kansas, and I ended up, well, the nearest town I landed near was like Fairfield, Ohio. You can Google map that. That's basically roughly 800 miles east. So
800 miles.
But it took me quite a while to figure out to remember what the heck I did, and then I figure out, okay, where the heck am I? So.
And where were you? I mean, when you woke up, what were you on the ground? Were you in the middle of a shopping center?
Basically in the middle of a field. So.
Oh, that's actually at least lucky, I guess. Middle of a field.
I guess it rides the Earth's gravitational field, so I don't end up in space. So, which was basically one of my other concerns if I tried to leave too far. So.
Of course. Oh my goodness. So, here you are coming. Your clothes were okay. You were okay. You were stunned.
I was saying, okay. Basically, I wasn't on fire. Other than basically my nervous system all screwed up. It was basically the equivalent of getting hit with a flashbang for, I'd say, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. I mean, I couldn't for a minute. I couldn't even remember my own name. So.
For a minute, I get that. Okay, that's shock. You were in shock, clearly. How quickly did your memory begin to come back?
I would say probably an hour. It took me probably an hour or so to get my bearings, and it's like, okay. I mean, in 1995, I don't remember if they had GPS or not. I know, well, actually, this is not. Well, okay, that's another thing, too. Basically, I did this in 1998, and on the other side, when I landed in Ohio, that was 2000. So.
2000?
Yeah, so basically not only did I jump 800 miles, but it was skipped over 2 years too. So actually a little over 2 years.
This is all the time I thought you were dead.
Well, from everybody else's point of view, for 2 years I didn't exist. I mean, if you basically do a Social Security search on me, for 2 years there won't be a peep.
Oh, I believe it. Trust me, I believe it. I searched for you. I looked for you, and you did not exist. It's true. So where to pick up on the story? All right, so now you're slowly beginning to remember, but at this point you don't have a home. You're 800 miles away from where you ought to be, or where you started. And as your memory slowly comes back, I mean, what do? Do you go up to somebody's door, knock on the door, or wander into a town, or what?
Yeah, eventually. It's like okay. It's in the middle of a field. I figured, okay, just maintain one direction. Eventually, you'll hit a road. Well, at least if I get a road, I'll have some idea where I am. Basically, long story short, I ended up meandering my way to Fairfield, which is it's not exactly a small town. It's just north of Cincinnati. So.
Okay.
Ended up going basically, okay, from Fairfield. It's like, okay, I know where I am now. So, and long story short, I ended up going from Fairfield to a homeless shelter because, keep in mind, after a few hours, it's like, okay, I remember my name now. So,
Madman, did your ID, did you have your wallet with you? I presume you probably removed any metallic objects before you jumped, I would hope.
Yeah, which included my ID, my credit cards, and all that. So, because with these magnetic fields, they would have been erased anyway. So
you didn't even have ID on you?
Nope, I had to go to the DM. Basically, eventually, once I remember my name, after a couple of days, I remember my Social Security number, so I had to go to the DMV and get another one.
Holy smokes. So here you are, utterly homeless, without ID. You slowly begin to get ID again. You're staying in a homeless shelter, and you have no memories of those years.
No, basically, it's weird. Basically, it erased. I could still remember like old memories, but basically the newer stuff, like from the previous 5 years or whatever, I couldn't remember squat. So, other than like I said, for a while I couldn't even remember my name, but eventually I got that back. So, and actually, that was the first thing I got back, and then I remembered. Okay, it started coming back to me. So. Yeah,
So,
basically that's another weird thing too. Sometimes, I'm sure everybody's Googled their own name before, but yeah, I guess there was hundreds of other people looking for me too. So
yes, yes. When you were picking yourself up off the ground, Dale, I get these computer messages and they're helpful, wants to know, did you need a shave?
No, I mean, it was from my point of view, it only took. I was only gone a couple of seconds, I think. I mean, I got hit. The closest approximation I can think of is as far as experiencing this myself. I mean, it felt like I got hit with a flashbang. That's the closest approximation of it.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, a lot would have changed if your body had actually spent a linear 2 years. You'd be shaggy. You'd have a long beard. You'd have long fingernails.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. From my point of view, it only took a couple of seconds.
So when did you first learn, oh my God, it's the year 2000?
At the homeless shelter. Long story short, I ended up. Did I already mention we got to the homeless shelter in downtown Cincinnati?
You told me you went there, yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Eventually, I made myself to the homeless shelter in Cincinnati, and every day you get a newspaper. They get a newspaper there, and it's like, wait a minute, this is 2000.
So at this point, you've got to either figure, no, there's only one thing you can figure, and that is that you, in fact, traveled in time. Because otherwise, the things I just talked about would have been true. You would have been shaggy. You would have had giant long fingernails, and so you did travel in time. And when did that hit you? That, my God, I really did it.
It took actually. When I seen that. The time travel movies don't really basically. They don't really depict it accurately, like the reactions of people when they realize they've done that. So, I mean, I was in shock for a while. So.
Well, movies need a little romance and drama and stuff like that, so you have to expect they're going to mess with things. But it dawned on you that, my God, I actually did it. I traveled in time. And then I guess, so you began to establish yourself? You got ID again? Did you get a job? Did you stay in the area?
Yeah, I got a few. Basically got a few temporary jobs. Eventually, I got most of my memory back. I mean, even today, there's still holes in it.
Really?
So, long story short, I ended up basically saving up, getting a few temp jobs and saving up my money, and ended up going back, basically catching a Greyhound back there. And
so you take a Greyhound home. I'm sure you want to go back to the warehouse and see what's what, right?
Yep, and go back there, and basically go back there, and it's gone. Basically everything. And
you don't mean the warehouse?
Well, no, the warehouse. Keep in mind, basically this was back in 2000, like 15 years ago. So
right.
I go back there, and the warehouse is there, but it's basically all my stuff inside is gone. So
gone? That's a lot of stuff to be gone.
Yeah, 2 years. This is all. That's plenty of time for. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know. Because basically I was going to try to hunt down all my donors, and basically that's another thing too. I couldn't remember the people that donated. So.
And a lot of people did, I guess, donate, huh?
Yeah, like I said, probably 25 or 30 people. So.
All right, so here you are. You're back at the warehouse, and it's empty. All your stuff is gone.
And I'm wondering, okay, what happened to it?
Of course.
It's like.
And then also you had.
And basically I was gone, like trying to fill in the past 2 years of what happened, and with everything, the whole darn planet. So.
Yeah, I have to sit down and read the New York Times or something, I suppose. Anyway, did you contact the owner of the warehouse to try to find out what had occurred, or what next?
Well, that's the thing. I couldn't remember the guy's name.
So we're not going to reveal where you are now. We're just saying you're in a secreted away location, which happens to be really true. My producer got you to a special place for this interview tonight, right? Don't say where it is.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to keep that to myself. Like I said, live and learn.
Yes, live and learn, indeed. So what is ahead for Madman now?
Basically, eventually I'm going to try to rebuild that thing and test and see. Basically, I don't know if I want to do that again or not. That kind of, like I said, that kind of messed with my head. So,
if you build again, and I have this really strong feeling that you will, would you build to a even larger scale? Would you, in other words, attempt to prove to the scientific community what you say is true, or what would your objective be if you build again?
Well, that was basically. Keep in mind when I said everything's gone, even my documentation for this thing, I don't know what happened to it. So, which kind of, even the time machine itself, even if I still had all my notes and stuff from it, basically I could say, okay, here, basically I could give it to the world, say, here's what I did, repeat it. So, if you can't repeat it, the whole thing's kind of useless. So,
well, not really, not useless, but it would be wonderful to be able to document this. There have been some physicists, theoretical physicists, for example, that commented in the article that we have up on the website about you and about everything that occurred, and they didn't feel like you traveled in time, but they didn't know what happened on the other hand either.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They brought up that. Well, if this is true, then why don't they create vortexes with every lightning strike? So the thing is, though.
Yeah, but that's not fair. That's not fair.
Yeah, you can't really stir a lightning strike. It's there and gone so quick. So.
That's right. That's exactly right. But your magnetic fields could essentially stir it, and you were almost soup or fried chicken. I know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about it. I didn't even have one single RF burn mark or anything on me. So, it messed with the magnetic fields mess with my brain. So, but other than that.
Do you remember enough of your system that if you wanted to rebuild it now, you could?
Yeah, I'd say it's not 100%, but I would say probably between 90 and 95%. So the rest I could basically do the trial and error thing and figure it out again. So.
Do you think
right now is? Keep in mind this thing probably costs several $1 million. So if I actually had to pay cash for everything.
Right.
So.
Mike, do you think that time travel in either direction is possible or only forward?
Well, here's the thing. From my previous experiments of going in reverse, because at first it's like I tried to hold the portal open, so to speak, and basically that way I can walk through and then basically come back to where I started again.
Yeah.
Well, every time I've tried that, I've crashed the power grid. It takes way too much energy. It's basically, I agree with all the other physicists as far as that goes. Basically, backwards time travel. Let's put it this way. Basically, time travel does not work the way Hollywood depicts it.
Oh, I've got that.
Yeah, you can basically go backwards in time, but not to any point you pick. Basically, I was like, oh, cool, I want to go see Christ. I want to go see Christ's crucifixion. Well, unless you build a time machine at 4 BC or whenever, actually 33 AD or whatever, unless you actually build the machine at that time and have it powered up at that time, you can't return to that time. So,
okay.
If I build the machine, long story short, if I have the machine powered up tomorrow,
yes,
I can't come back to today. So,
so those 2 years, it's like they just don't exist for you, which means that you did not age during those 2 years.
Yeah, it's long story short, as far as the time travel aspect of it is, it basically works the same way as general or basically relativity.
All your long stories are, I'm noticing, short. So we've got a good long show, not that long, so you can make long stories medium. That'd be all right. We have classic stuff here. Mike Madman Markum. You have now heard his story, I think, to date. I'm sure there's much more to say. For example, Mike, here's a question. Somebody wants to know why, for example, weren't the police there or somebody to stop you from jumping through? They had to know that you were building up to it, right?
Well, that's the thing. I kind of after all the publicity, I basically the only people that knew about it is the people that donated. So I never told anybody else. Not the people at work, nobody. So.
Well, that really does make sense to me because somebody surely would have stopped you, right?
I don't know if they would have or not. I mean, technically, it'd be kind of hard to prove it was a suicide attempt. I mean, and when it exactly wasn't. So.
They might have looked at that equipment and figured out it was going to be a suicide, no matter what. Hold on one sec, Mike. All right, so phone lines are open, folks. Here it is. Finally, they're open. You can ask questions if you would like, and I'm sure you have questions. This is a man who's traveled in time. Area code 952-225-5278. Put a 1 in front of that. 1-952-225-5278. If you're calling on Skype, MITD51, or outside North America, MITD55. They probably would have, I think, Madman figured you were going to do yourself in, and somebody would have stopped you, I'm sure.
Well, nobody did.
Nobody did, as it turns out. But
if you check out, there's plenty of YouTube videos where everybody. They actually have suicide videos on YouTube. And,
really?
Yeah, yeah. There's just about everything on YouTube. If you look hard enough, but there's all sorts of weird things on YouTube, including that stuff, and including some guys standing on top of electric trains, basically just reaching up and grabbing the 25,000 volts of power of the train, and when you do that, it zaps you like a bug. So
that's right. All right. Somebody wants to know, because there was a rumor, Mike, that you did an experiment with a cat. Is that true or not?
No, I don't know where that came from. Somebody made that up due to lack of information, because basically after the first round of publicity, I more or less made up my mind. It's like, oh God, I can't stand being a celebrity. So
yeah, you don't. I know you don't seek out fame. I'm very well aware that you don't seek out fame, Mike, and so it's a honor to have you on the show. It really is.
Well, yeah, no, not everybody. Like every Hollywood actress or actress, whatever. Not all of them basically like the limelight. So I compare myself to Jodie Foster. I don't mind basically every now and then, but as far as people knocking on my door 24/7. It's really, it's to me, it's disconcerting having somebody I don't know run up to me and ask for my autograph. So
I know the feeling. Go to restaurants and people want to. Anyway, listen, Mike. People want to know if you were to do this again. Let's think about it for a second. You could conceivably hopscotch into the future. Again and again and again, maybe you could figure out a way to do it with less trauma to your own person, and, you would still be a young man in the year 20, whatever you want.
Yeah, like I said, the problem is it's a one-way trip. It's like the same thing as using relativity.
Yes.
So,
well, it is a one-way trip.
Well, that's the advantage of, everybody. It's already been scientifically proven you can use gravity to dilate time. Well, basically, I'm using electromagnetism, which is 10 to the 30th times stronger.
Right.
So
right.
I don't need basically a black hole to do this. So.
They're getting ready to try to create a black hole at CERN. You have any thoughts on what might happen when they do?
Well, they're going to be basically. I'm with everybody else. Like as far as all the other physicists, as far as that goes, they'll be so small they'll evaporate almost immediately.
I hope you're right. I really hope that's what happens.
Well, I mean, if not, it'll swallow the Earth at nearly the speed of light, and we won't even see it coming. So.
Yeah, it'll be over. Oh, just like that. All right, on Skype, you are on the air with Madman. Hi. I think it's somebody named Torch. You're on the air. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Art? Welcome back.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, the key thing that you really need the most is funding, right?
Funding or equipment. So.
Okay. Well, if you could travel into the future, or even if you can travel into the past, wouldn't the number one thing would be to find out what the numbers are going to be for tomorrow and come back and play those numbers, and you'd be able to fund yourself with millions of dollars?
Well, I mean, obviously that's the first thing I thought. I actually had a reporter ask me that back in 1995 when it's like, what were you planning to do with this thing?
Right.
When I actually told him I was going, I'm going to go into the future, get the lottery numbers, and then come back and give them to myself. I mean, when I told him that, I was actually laughing when I said it. It was a joke. I mean, I didn't think they would take it seriously. They hung on every word I said, so.
Right. That would be the key to do, though, don't you think?
Well, that's the problem. The thing stopping me from doing that, though, is I don't know how to go in reverse. I mean, I mean, like I said, I can't go back before I turn this thing on. The best I could do is if I turn it on today, I can go to tomorrow, and then come back to today, but I have to keep the thing on the whole time.
Is there any way you can send information?
So much energy, I can't do it. It can't be done.
Yeah, he was asking if there's any way you can send back information.
I haven't really looked into that. I mean, I've heard of other people basically use like this one guy supposedly made a TV that can see the future or whatever, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So
what would really bother me is to lose you. I mean, really lose you. I thought you were lost for 2 years, Mike, and now I just have this feeling that you're going to rebuild somehow.
Well, that's the eventual goal anyway. So, I mean, it may or may not happen. Now, there's this. I guess if it happens at some point in the future, I can't really say it didn't happen. But there's this story floating around me on the internet where I ended up back in 1930 crushed in some tube with a cell phone in my hand or something. Well, as far as I know, that didn't happen, but that's not to say that I don't do it at some point in the future. I don't see how, because I don't know how to go back to any arbitrary point in the past. So
I've got to say that even going forward in hops and holding your youth at the same time, if you didn't have to end up with a headache, no ID, and in the middle of a field somewhere, would be pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, looking back on it, the foolish thing I done, I mean, basically was I didn't wear a Faraday cage when I dumped into it. I didn't think I needed one.
Well, I guess
I know better now, so.
Guess you did. All right, let's go to, I don't know, Kansas City on the phone. Hi, you're on the air.
Hello, Art. How you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you.
Okay, a couple of things for you. I'm a skeptic. I love your time travel talk. I love hearing it. I love reading it. It's great.
Are you a skeptic of what Mike did?
Well, not necessarily. The proof is in the pudding, naturally, okay? The thing that bothers me on a situation like this, you travel in time, you lose track of 2 years, person can go into a coma, okay? My thing is a two-way travel. You go forward, you come back. You go back, you come forward.
Well, that would be ideal.
It would be ideal, and it would be the real proof, okay? And the other thing, and Mike, this is for you, okay? I have a lot of close family, a lot of close loved ones. Keep track of me. What did your family say or think this time you were gone?
Oh, good question. A really good question. How about it, Mike?
Well, they thought I vaporized myself, so they were freaked out.
Did they submit any reports to the police? Did they, a missing person report or anything?
That's actually one of the first things I did when I was in that homeless shelter. I ended up going to the library and doing a search myself and see and nothing turned up. So basically, I don't know if they filed missing persons or not. Basically, they said they did, but I can't find anything. So.
All right. Here is somebody named Clay who is on the wormhole saying, has Madman ever considered creating a Kickstarter page to fund yet another project with the proper funding? He could even keep a video blog to record his results, thus proving the experiment works.
You know what? That's actually I never actually considered that. I mean, usually with Kickstarter, it's things with well, I mean, with at large, there's probably so much skepticism. I don't think I'd get that much anyway. So.
Okay.
So, but
it's
yeah,
not
I mean,
a bad.
It's actually an idea.
It is.
I mean, and one of your original callers from from '95, they asked me if I was going to be publishing. Well, I'm not your typical. Basically, one of your other guests. Most of the other guests already have like a book published or whatever, and then they go on your show to promote it or whatever.
Yes, I know. You don't have a book to sell, right?
Yeah, I don't. It's like I've never. That's my weak thing on the technical side. I'm a math and science guy. But as far as basically the English side of it, when I was in college, I barely passed that.
All right. Here's what I recommend, Mike. Seriously, there will be a lot of people who would be willing to ghost author for you or co-author for you. So in other words, you could, in detail, with drawings that, if you can remember, of the equipment, the warehouse, the whole thing, everything that's happened beginning to end, as you've told it on this story, on this show rather, but in more detail, and write a book. I recommend you do it. Now, I'm not sure how we connect.
I did remember Stephen Hawking's publisher said every formula including this is going to cut your cells in half. So,
if we have a publisher who would like to do this, how about I have them contact my producer? You know her, very nice girl, Heather.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe you should make a book deal, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody else is going to write it, I mean, I could write all the techniques, basically the meat and potatoes of it, and they can more or less do the rest. So.
Man, if anything deserves to be published, it's this. And that it would go a long way toward, I think, funding any project you want. It's just an idea. David,
yeah.
you're on with Madman Markum. Hello.
Art, man, looking good. I see you on Periscope.
Oh, hi.
Question for Mark or Mike.
Mike.
So,
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's intriguing because you don't really have an angle on this. I mean, you don't have a book deal like you said before. Art kind of found you back in '95. So what about the witnesses? I mean, is there anyone out there that can corroborate your story? I mean, where are they at? Maybe we can find them tonight. I don't know.
Well, I mean, basically, like I said, I can't remember. There was what was her name? Her last name was Sanderson. That's the only one I can remember. So, but yeah, originally, there was like 25 or 30 people that basically were there when I was running this thing. So.
All right, just like the police officer who contacted me and actually went on the air. I mean, how often does that ever happen?
Yeah, that was crap. I just said it earlier. Oh, Tom Hampton.
I'm sure he could be found. I'm sure that some other people who were funding you.
Actually, I mean, when he's actually still an officer in Stanbury, as far as I know. So.
Wow.
So yeah, basically, well, small town people, they more or less grow up and die there. So.
I do understand.
Yeah, I hope you can find, some of the people that were there in the warehouse,
Right. I think it's a wonderful idea, caller. Thank you very, very much. And put it all together, chronicle it in a book as best as you can remember it. I understand that your memory got harmed. Certainly, that's not a surprise.
Yeah, it's like when I was talking to Heather yesterday, I was I was telling her about this experiment where they were basically taking these 8 Tesla magnets, which is a really, really strong magnet, but they actually got it. The tech is mature enough where they actually make that handheld. and they were actually doing showing it off for the Discovery Channel, where they're actually taking that thing, pulsing it into some guy's brain to where, and he's counting from 1 to 10 while this thing's pulsing in his head, and it was actually messing with his speech centers where he couldn't talk, where he couldn't count.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it. So
it's like these guys are PhDs, and it's like, oh my God, how can you basically know more about this than I do, and you're still doing it.
It's almost like you were in a timeless coma for 2 years. I don't know how else to think about it. I mean, you've got to ask yourself, I certainly ask, where was Madman for 2 years? Where were you? Did you simply jump through that time and land on the field? It seems that way.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I didn't, like I said, I didn't physically age as far as I could tell. I mean, my fingernails were the same length as they were. I didn't have not even 1 day's growth of facial hair. So as far as I could tell, I just skipped over that 2 years. So.
All right, let's stay with the phone and go to next, whatever next is. Hello.
Hey, Art, this is Tom from Florida. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Tom. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to – I missed part of the show, unfortunately, and I just wanted to ask Mike, did you have any feedback from the government or anything? Did any government officials get in contact with you? I mean –
That's a very, very good question. A very good question.
I mean, well, that's another thing. I mean, Hollywood, basically, they'd have me, the Men in Black show up and make me disappear. Well, obviously that didn't actually happen. So,
did anybody from the government at all contact you?
No, basically you would think they would. I'm sure they have spy satellites everywhere, so I'm sure they know about it. But no, nothing. I didn't hear a peep out of them. Nobody came knocking on my door, offering me money, saying, "Hey, come work for us. We'll give you all the funding you need." I mean, that works. That happens in every Hollywood movie you ever watch, but
not real life.
Reality is a little bit different. So
that's incredible, Mike. You would think that some government agency, DARPA, somebody.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think, Department of Energy or DARPA, really, actually DARPA, because basically they fund all sorts of strange things. So yeah, you'd think they would be coming, like knocking on my door, checking hand, but nope, didn't happen.
If they were to come to you now, what would you cooperate with them or not?
Usually, I mean, the thing with DARPA, well, I don't have firsthand experience with them, but I'm willing to bet they try to militarize every. I mean, basically, the check isn't free and clear. There's always strings attached.
I hear that.
So.
All right. Very quickly, let's try this. You're on the phone and on the air.
Hi, Art. What a pleasure to be on the phone with you and with Mike. First of all, I want to say that I appreciate your interest in time travel because
never ending.
Because you have such an interest. It allows all of us who also have an interest to enjoy these topics in depth. But my question is this. We know, obviously, that he ended up in our dimension. In other words, when he went through this so-called time machine, he didn't go into, like, another dimension or an alternate future. He obviously stayed within our own dimension, our own time, our own space. So that begs the question, the Earth is in a different spot 2 years from now. So if he ended up in the same locale, the same dimension as we're
Well, no, wait a minute. He moved 800 miles, remember?
No. The Earth.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So, in other words, why didn't he materialize in space?
Well, kind of. Technically, the millennium wasn't so. Depending on who you ask, the millennium didn't start to 2001 anyway. So. Good
point. It is depending on who you ask, indeed. But of course, it's just gone, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was kind of depressing, but I was at that point. I was more excited than depressed. So
I completely understand. All right, I believe it's Trey from Atlanta. Hi, Trey.
Hey, Art. I'm sort of reticent to say this, but I feel like with Madman here, and it is a huge honor to talk to you. Do you feel like even if you haven't personally, in perhaps this reality, have hit time travel, do you think an alternate version of you has?
Ooh. That's a pretty cool question.
If you consider like the multiverse theory, I guess if there's infinite versions, I guess so. I mean, if you think of it that way.
I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, by definition, basically, with infinite possibilities, everything that could possibly happen has happened, as far as that goes. But, I'm kind of more concerned about me rather than alternate me's. So.
Well, you are now how old, Mike?
According to my birth certificate, 42, but...
really only 40?
Yeah, biologically I'm 40.
So at 40, you're in your prime. There's no question about it. You're in your prime, and...
Yeah, hopefully with luck I'll have another 40, so...
Well, maybe you will. And, again, what are you going to do with it? I mean, somebody who's already done the incredible thing that you've done can't just give up.
Oh, of course. Of course not.
So you're gonna build, aren't you?
Well, if I can, I will.
Hello there. You're on the air with Madman Markum.
Hi. I think the missing equipment in the warehouse part of your story is the weak link, because it's easy to find out who owns a commercial building. We all know all you have to do is go to the local courthouse records department,
sure,
or a realtor or an attorney, and they will tell you the name of the owner of the warehouse. And you're much too brilliant, and you're not much too practical to have overlooked this because of losing all of your equipment and your notes. What's your explanation for this?
Mm-hmm. And the video. The video, too.
Well, basically, like I said, as far as the video goes, all that disappeared with the equipment. But
right.
Believe it or not, that didn't actually cross my mind. So as far as like looking up the realtor or the building or whatever. So
why not? I mean, I would think you would definitely want to know what happened to your stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, I would, but like I said, basically, you know what? That didn't actually cross my mind. I mean, like I said, at first I couldn't even remember. I didn't even have the brains to remember my own name. So,
I know that the stuff was there. I know
when I actually went back there, I actually stayed there for a week. But yeah, believe it or not, the week I was there, I didn't actually think to go to the courthouse. Do
you mean that you stayed in the warehouse for a week when you went back?
No, I mean, no. I just
in town.
It was, yeah, I mean, it basically made me really depressed being there and seeing it empty. So I got the hell out of there. So.
I totally get that. That would be depressing. It's like, where did everything go? Overseas somewhere. Hi there. You're on the air with Madman.
Hi.
Hi. Where are you?
I am in Japan, and for some reason I'm hearing myself. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Good.
I was going to say that I feel kind of like I'm time traveling myself because I'm watching you on Periscope, and it's about 15, 20 seconds ahead of the radio that I'm listening to.
It's a type of time travel.
Yeah. But I guess I had two questions.
Sure.
One of them, or a question and a comment. One is that on the DARPA side of things, if everything that we hear is, or even if half of what we hear is true, I would think that they wouldn't really need you, honestly. I feel like, to a certain extent, they'd probably be way beyond what you're doing, and their only interest would be to shut you up, if anything. Yeah. They probably just figured, he'll burn himself up, or do it wrong, or he won't remember, or we've already done that, so we don't care.
Yeah, it's kind of a good point, Mike. If you've done this...
You know what? That could be why they haven't knocked on my door. They already know more than I do. So
there you go.
And the question
I had was, they have billions of dollars to do stuff with. So
I didn't get to hear the whole show yet. I'll go back and listen to it because I'm subscribed. But you talked about the warehouse being empty, but did you have like a house that you were living in the town? Was that still there? Was your personal possessions and stuff still there?
Good question.
Or did that get
well, actually, at the time, the house I had at the time was in St. Joseph, Missouri. That was all long gone too. That basically other people were living there now.
Wow.
So your family or anybody keep any of your stuff? I mean, do you have any personal belongings or anything? Because I feel like that would be a big loss.
Basically had to start over. So I'm sure basically I don't know. Well, what happens to stuff when somebody disappears for 2 years?
You will hear when you listen to the rest of the show about his ID being gone, about it a lot. Trust me. I'm more or less. I basically was in the same boat with somebody's house burning down and with all their possessions inside. Basically in 2000 I had nothing. So I imagine when you went back to when you went back to the warehouse, I'm sure it was just a gigantic, depressing moment.
Oh yeah, I mean,
here's what I imagine. I imagine that perhaps either whoever owned the warehouse, or perhaps the tenant that came to the warehouse after you disappeared, literally, had everything just dragged away somewhere and probably put in, the junkyard. I hate to say that, but
yeah. I mean, those electromagnets were probably they sold it for scrap and got quite a bit of money from it because there was a lot of copper in that. So
God knows they rip up copper, from. Radio antennas have radials. They rip that up and sell it as copper. It's horrible what's going on. Daniel, hello, Daniel, on Skype. You're on the air with Madman.
Hi, guys.
Hi there.
This is actually Dimitri, and Daniel's my son. He was the one that put the call through, but I just wanted to say that it's a great honor to talk to both Art and Madman Markum.
Thank you.
I've listened to the original broadcast back in the mid-'90s when I was a teenager, and I was fascinated by the story.
Well, in that case, can you verify that what you heard then is basically what you heard now?
Yeah.
Except for the new stuff.
I would say so. And as I said, many years went on since the original broadcast, and this story just stuck with me. It was always in the back of my mind. I would think about it every now and again. I always wondered what happened to Madman, and I tried every now and again to hop online and try to see if there was any new information. Just maybe a couple of months ago, I probably spent a whole day digging online and, came up with little things here and there, and actually found a story about him, appearing 800 miles away, and I thought for some reason that was some bogus story, but now hearing it from, Michael Markum himself, I gotta say, hey, you know what, that really did happen. But what I wanted to ask is, okay, so there was a warehouse where all of this equipment was set up, and, I'm sure all these people were there watching Michael jump in. He disappeared. Obviously, there was something to this machine, to all of this machinery. It wasn't just a joke. I mean, guy either teleported someplace, whether he went, forward or backwards in time. It doesn't matter, because either one of those scenarios would still be out of this world, and I just don't see anyone scrapping this stuff, because there is a lot more to it than just, I
don't know,
a bunch of transformers sitting around. And I was going to say, tracking these people down wouldn't be that hard, because obviously at some point, there's someone's name that was attached to the lease or
of
title.
Of course. You know what else? You know what else is also possible, caller, and that is that somebody did know exactly what happened, and somebody came in who knew what they were doing and took it all away.
Right. And then another thing I was going to ask is, whatever happened to the videotapes? I mean, I know, obviously, Michael doesn't know how to get a hold of any of these guys, but, you'd think that if something like this happened and someone got it on video, it's bound to make its way to YouTube. I mean, I've checked all over. There's nothing,
the answer to that is all that stuff, the recording of all this was done in the warehouse. So this stuff was in the warehouse, including the camcorder, right, Mike?
Yeah, a camcorder, several hours of footage, and my personal journal, basically, where I more or less write down the date and basically the experiments that day I did. So
including, I would imagine, your ID and anything metal you had that you were carrying.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I usually had that on me until that day I was actually going to jump in because I didn't want that basically erasing. So, because there's like a magnetic stripe on the back, and if you erase that, well, you can't swear it doesn't work anymore. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but these people were at the warehouse when everything went down while the video camera was set up recording the whole event. And so you'd think that one of those guys would probably grab the camera after the fact or at least grab the tape so they would have some kind of proof of, hey, you know what, I've witnessed a guy either
that, sir, or they didn't want any evidence of this.
True. Well, in any case, fascinating story. Loved it. And you know what, I really hope that Mike can go forward with this and, you know what, maybe put out a shout-out because I know there's a lot of people who listen to the show that would probably like to contribute just like the folks back in the day did. And, you know,
go forward. Okay, thank you. I honestly think that one of the better paths now for Mike might be to find a publicist and sit down with a publicist. And even if you have to do regressive therapy, you know, in order to bring back some of the details that got blasted away when you went through, somehow commit all of this to paper and do exactly what everybody else in the world does, write a book.
Yep. I'm actually looking at this one guy suggests, I'm actually looking at the website now. Go to tell him to set up a GoFundMe account.
Yeah, GoFundMe or well, that's crowdfunding, right?
Yeah. Well, one thing I do want to avoid is, I know this one guy. He supposedly had some sort of free energy device, and they ended up sending him to prison for securities fraud. So I definitely don't want to basically end up falling in his shoes.
No, we don't want you back in the pokey again.
Yeah, I mean, that's as far as that goes. That's what basically. Well, he more or less said, "Here's a free. I have an engine that runs on water," and well, I guess he ended up filing on his company on the New York Stock Exchange. And then he couldn't deliver, and, well, basically they more or less sent him to prison for securities fraud. So
there are a few things that we do know for sure. We know you did the experiment. We know you ended up 800 miles away from the point of the experiment. And we know that 2 years disappeared. People are asking questions about the warehouse, but I kind of understand if everything was gone, you'd just kind of, throw up your hands in dismay, and you'd probably be a little disoriented. Any pictures at all of the big equipment that you had set up? Anything?
No, unfortunately. I mean, drawings, but basically those are redrawn from memory. So.
Right. Oh, that is so sad. So sad. And it seems to be something that happens in time travel stories that we get even from others. It's sad. Jack on Skype, you're on the air with Madman. Hi.
Evening, Art.
Evening.
Mr. Markum, I have a suggestion for you, sir. If you set yourself up a Patreon account and then link that with a YouTube account and start making a weekly video, I can pretty much guarantee that everyone listening tonight and that's been listening to this kind of broadcast for the last 20 or 30 years will subscribe to your YouTube channel. YouTube will start paying you, and then Patreon will start paying you. And that will fund your research. The only thing you got to promise us, though, guy, is that you're going to keep us updated on your progress.
Do you want to do that kind of thing? It's a good suggestion. Do you want to get on social media? The trouble with it is, Mike, that it does make you, like a celebrity. And
yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes that's unavoidable, as much as I don't like it.
That's right. So. You're absolutely correct. So you consider that?
Well, believe it or not, I already have a YouTube account. I mean, I think it's been hacked because there's stuff posting on it I didn't post. So.
Oh, that happens a lot.
Yeah, but.
I know 2 years in the bigger scheme of things, is short. But I'm wondering, were you jolted by the change in technology? Because we are a fast-moving world. Was there any?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, basically I had to go to the library and catch up on what I missed. So,
was there anything that surprised you in technological progress?
Well, yeah, I mean, somewhat. I mean, 1998. The main thing I would think, I was using first generation IGBTs in my time machine.
Right.
Well, they had by 2000 they had the second generation ones, so I think they're up to like 6 or 7 now. But
wow.
But yeah, silicon technology was the thing that totally mostly blew my mind. So, oh yeah, they were making a big deal about gigahertz processors. Well, in 1998 they only had 233 megahertz, so that was a big leap.
Yeah, it sure has been. All right, Madman Markum and somebody in Colorado Springs, I think.
Hi, Art. This is Kevin. A couple comments.
Sure.
First, the question from the caller about why you wouldn't have ended up in space.
Yes.
If I jump exactly this moment in time a year forward, would not I end up in exactly the same place I am now? The Earth would be in the same place in space.
Well, if it was exactly a year.
And that's what I.
Oh, I see. I've got you. So you're saying even though it was 2 years. Mike,
keep in mind the sun's not staying put in one spot in space compared to. It depends on what your point of reference is. Even there's it takes like 12,500 years technically to be in the same spot. But you got to remember the whole Milky Way galaxy is also rotating.
Were you gone? It's a good question. Were you gone exactly 2 years? Do you know?
No, it was actually 2 years and 2 months and some odd days. So.
Really?
Yeah, but the thing is, as far as, when that question was asked before we went to break.
Right.
But, basically what happened was, the other end of the wormhole, so to speak, I don't know what else to call it.
Yes.
Basically, it more or less rides, it's riding the center of the gravity of the Earth, so I don't have to worry about ending up in space. So.
Wow. This whole thing is so incredible.
And luckily, I guess, it's as far as stability goes, it's not dumping me in the middle of something, so that's actually good. That's actually what I was worried about. Okay, are these hamsters? Are they ended up in the middle of the parking lot or whatever? I mean, literally buried in the asphalt. So
maybe when you die, Madman, you'll walk through the pearlies, and there will be a whole bunch of hamsters and guinea pigs staring at you. Kenny, hello there, Kenny, wherever you are on Skype.
Hey, how's it going?
It's fine.
Hey, that was going to be my question because you guys went to break, and why didn't he end up in space? And you guys forgot to answer that question. So that was my question. That was going to be reminding you to ask
so
that.
So your whole call is now useless. Or do you have another question?
I have a request. I do definitely have a request.
Okay.
Is there a way that you can come up with a compilation of all the times JC called you and put it on as a tribute? Because that guy was awesome.
I mean, okay. Well, maybe like a thank you, like a memorial. Because I think he's, I shouldn't say it because JC, I don't know where JC is. He may be.
Yeah, I heard he was, I never listened to the show before yesterday, and I heard he was like some legendary heckler. So.
Legendary heckler is a way to put it, I suppose. Hi there. You're on the air with Madman Markum.
Hi, Art. Thank you for taking my call. I just have a quick question for your guest today. And I guess I'm curious to know about his familiarity with the intergalactic gravitational transportation associated with his time travel. I missed the first half of the call. I'm just curious to know if he used electricity to increase the magnetism and the gravity within his warehouse when he traveled.
Oh, are you a time traveler?
No,
member of our time traveler club is what I mean.
No, I'm not, Art.
Oh, goodness. You need to go back and hear the beginning of this program because we detailed everything, and we can't go through it again.
My fault.
Yeah, if you go to YouTube, even the original 1995 interviews are on there. So
that's right. Well, of course, the big experiment is not part of that.
The
early stuff.
There was quite a bit that happens from 1997 up till
I should say.
2000. So
I'm sorry, caller. You'll have to find a way to hear the show. That's all I can say. All right, let's see if we can quickly do one before a masked man on Skype. Hello, going once.
Hello.
Yes.
Art.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a question. I'm wondering if he knows whether he is in the same dimension he left in. You know what I mean? Did he go to another Earth with another universe?
It's a good question.
Yeah, like
I'm still here.
Yeah, like alternate reality. So
yeah, it would make sense. Even if all your stuff has vanished.
Well,
none of your stuff.
I mean,
the
change in
you would really expect none of your stuff.
Wait a minute. One at a time here. Caller, go ahead.
You would really expect none of your stuff to be around. It would be missing. It wouldn't be in the warehouse.
That's a kind of a thought. Mike, what do you think?
That's actually a possibility. I have no way of knowing for certain what the heck happened. But
maybe when you vanished, it did too. What I've got a question. Was there anything on the floor? Were there scar marks? Were there drag marks? Anything at all?
No, there was actually a new tenant there. So
yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, I knew it.
So I mean, if there was anything, basically with where the main contraption was, I guess you could call it, the main vortex generator or whatever you want to call it, where that was, there was a bunch of pallets stuck there, just like stacked there. So
a bunch.
If there was skid marks or whatever, they were covered up. So
another tenant. Very quickly, you're on the air with Madman Markum coming up in a break. Hi.
Hello, Art. Welcome back to the airwaves. This is Ryan out in the middle of the Sonoran Desert in Buckeye, Arizona.
Hey there.
Hi. I just wanted to know if there was a missing person report, because if somebody's jumped through something as he describes and there's witnesses, people are going to panic, like the owner of the building, potentially manslaughter, homicide, being complicit in.
Not to mention his family.
Yeah.
My family
saw
Hold on, caller. Hold on. We're getting an answer. Go ahead, Mike.
My family thought I more or less vaporized myself, and as far as everybody, when I went back there, that's what I ended up. That was one of the first things I did, was do a search on myself and see if I can find the, like I said, missing persons reports, all that stuff.
Both of you
have the record.
Yeah, both of you hold on. I'll bring you back, caller. Stay right where you are. We're in break. David in Los Angeles writes something that, as I bring back this caller and Mike, I think you all should hear. Art, I'm a real estate broker, and whenever someone just disappears from a property, we call a company to trash everything inside. Most times we have no idea, nor do we care what's going into the dumpster. Then we rent to a new tenant. That's how it works. Caller, you're back on with Madman Mike.
Yes, sir. And I just, it's a very fascinating story. I'm kind of like thinking maybe this was a story that would have been good for truth or trash. It's just there's too many holes in the story.
Like what?
A guy disappears for 2 years, and law enforcement, the media is not alerted. Somebody panicking that witnessed this.
I looked for the guy myself.
Well, and then he appears out of the field, out of the homeless shelter. There's got to be a record of him appearing there. And
I'm sure there is.
Jobs.
Okay, Mike, is there a record of your appearance at the homeless shelter?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I mean, they had security cameras in there, so.
Well, I
don't know if they still have that footage from this. Keep in mind, this was 15 years ago, so I don't know if they still have the footage or not. But
Well, I understand it, but extraordinary claims, you have to have extraordinary evidence. I mean, it's a great story, but there's a lot of holes, especially where you disappear and there's all these witnesses. Nobody goes to the cops. No one goes to the media. And then, like you said, the credit cards.
Actually, hold it. One thing at a time.
Yes,
you're blasting a lot of things. The media did pay attention, and the media did, including me, nationally, went on the air and said, Madman is gone. We can't find him. And other media looked into it as well. Now, as Pallades will tell you, people disappear. It happens. And
because of...
Go ahead.
Gone because of this, him jumping into...
through
his time machine, or just disappearing off the grid. That's two different things. I'm not trying to be critical.
No, you can be critical. It's fine. Be critical.
The story is just like, family members would have panicked, okay? If somebody would have said, hey, your son, your daughter, your whatever would have jumped through something like that, and he said they assumed that he vaporized, well, I would think they'd go to the police. And
I would too.
And the guy that owns the building...
Well, all right, that's yet something else. You're jumping ahead. All right. Mike, let me ask you this. Your family, I asked that too. I don't know, and I have no right to pry, but I don't know how close you were to your family. I don't know anything about you with that regard. I mean, so are you surprised they didn't file a police report?
Well, I mean, I was actually kind of, but not really. I mean, I talk to him I don't call him like every day and tell him what I'm doing or anything like that. I mean, usually I call him I'd say maybe every few weeks. So, yeah, but...
let's try this. They knew what you were doing, didn't they?
Yeah, and I figured, well, okay, maybe, they assume, okay, I figured they'd have none of them have a life insurance policy that they tried to collect or anything like that, so...
well, I'll tell you this, if I were writing a policy...
And there was no, okay, I figured maybe if the world assumes I'm dead, maybe there'll be a death certificate of me. No, I guess the world assumed I'm still alive, so because I can't find a death certificate on me.
Well, after about a year, they can do that, or maybe it's more than that. I really don't know, but
me neither. So
I was trying to say, if I was asked to write a policy on you, and I was the underwriter, I'd say no chance.
Yeah, the premiums for that would be insane. So.
Everybody has to remember, everybody knew what Mike was doing. He had been arrested. He had been in jail. He had collected this equipment. Then he had collected donations and money from broadcasting that we did. He had the warehouse. We know about that. And he had the resources to build the stuff he talked about. So we know an awful lot. Granted, there's some we don't know, but we know that much. William on Skype, you're on the air.
Roswell's Ark Bell.
I beg pardon?
Roswell's Ark Bell.
Well, Roswell's right back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mike, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
You said when you put your small animals through, they wound up either east or west.
Yep.
Was it always the same direction, or was it one or the other?
It was, as far as I could tell, as far as trying to figure out if there was a pattern to it, it was the east or west was random.
So they either went east or west, but never north-south, caller?
That doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
If he's traveling forward in time, he should always go in the same direction and either wind up above the ground or under the ground.
Well,
my next question is, if you saw them appear, did they appear on the ground or did they appear above the ground and fall to the ground?
Well, they were appeared above the ground. They were like basically on the surface of the ground. They weren't under the ground. And they didn't come back dead, so I'm assuming they didn't pop in high enough above the ground to where the fall killed them. So,
were any of them physically affected in any way that you could detect, Mike?
No, they were perfectly fine as far as I could tell. No burn marks. They were I mean, they even had their same appetite. I mean, as far as you could physically tell, nothing changed. So.
Okay. All right. Let's
Obviously,
go.
It did something. It probably did something to the nervous system, but
as you pointed out, they can't talk.
Yeah. So.
Certainly did something to your nervous system. Hi there. You're on the air with Madman Markum.
Oh, man, that's such a wonderful broadcast. Thanks for having me on.
Sure.
Mike, this is just a phenomenal story. I've been following it for, 18 years now, 20 years, however long it's been. I've had a lot of thoughts on ways you can do it. I'm kind of surprised that you've used as many animals as you have. The technology's evolved quite a bit now. If you do build again, and if you were to try to put items through, what about using something like GPRS or some sort of a tracker or a beacon and shielding it with like a Mylar bag, having the Mylar bag pop with, say, like a CO2 canister on a timer, and then you could also try to record like a stopwatch or have some other way to really see how much time has passed on one side of the coin.
Well, you can't take anything metallic through. And by the way, caller, real quick, hold on, caller, real quick, how many animals would you put through before you personally jump through?
Well, I would at least put through something with some level of intelligence like a dog. I hate to say that because I'm a dog lover, but something that can sit, shake, something that can, if I could see that it recognizes command,
yes,
has some level of sentience after it, I might feel comfortable going through.
Okay. Well, I guess Mike may have considered and possibly rejected sending a dog or a cat. There was a rumor about a cat. But yeah, I do understand.
The cat never happened. So
a lot of cat lovers out there who who'd be upset.
Yeah, and I didn't want PETA knocking on my door. So
all right, so somebody calling themselves Manila Thrilla, you're on.
Hey Art, it's Mike from Burbank.
Hey Mike,
I spoke to you on Truth or Trash.
Okay.
Hey, so the guy had money. So did he have the money in the bank? Did he have a lot of interest when he got out? You mean Madman had money? Yeah. What happened to his bank accounts? What happened to the utilities that he was paying? Was he in arrears? Did he take care of that?
After you've been gone 2 years, it's all a good question, really, Mike. Did you have money in the bank? You were not a rich guy.
You know what? I wish I did. Basically, it was like one of those deals where it was like maybe $1 or something. I mostly spent all the money on basically parts for this thing. So
I believe it totally.
So, and as far as the utilities go, usually once you get 30 or 60 days behind, they shut it off. So I'm assuming that's what happened.
They certainly do.
So I mean, basically when I came back, my credits was trashed. So yeah, that's probably what happened.
Okay, caller.
Okay, Art. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate the call. You're on with Madman Markum. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Hi.
Hey. I'm here, and I'm here looking on the internet, and it says that his stuff melted down.
Now where did you? If I can ask, where did you read that?
It's the infobarrel.com.
I bet there's a million rumors about what happened.
There's about most of those stories. Don't take it word for word. Basically, what they're doing, since I was more or less kept to myself for the past 15 years, so more or less people guessing what happened. And, well, you tell a story and you pass it to the next guy and it changes a little bit. Well, 15 years for that, it's going to be something totally different. Like, I don't know where that cat story came from, but it didn't come from me. So
anyhow, I know we don't have a lot of time, so I just got a quick question for you here. Okay, now you talk about body mass, right? And maybe you got projected 2 years into the future because your body mass is larger than, like, let's say a smaller animal, if you get what I'm saying. Like, if you send something through, it appears a minute later.
Yeah.
So if you're larger, you're going to get projected further.
That's actually crossed my mind. I mean, it's kind of counterintuitive. I mean, like if you're taking a rocket to the moon or whatever, I mean, it usually takes more energy to transport more mass. So I think it would be working in reverse, but maybe that's not the case. So, yeah, it's a possibility. So, yeah.
You know, nobody should imagine that Mike has all the answers. He doesn't, and how could he?
Oh yeah.
He has told he has told you what he knows. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was just a theory on my part. So.
Oh, nothing wrong with it.
Throwing that out there.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's good you did. Thank you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's like.
Hey, thanks a lot, and I'll let you go so you can get in some more callers. Thanks.
All right. Take care. Yeah, Mike. I don't expect you to have all the answers. You have given us what you can give us about what happened to the animals, what happened to the inanimate objects, and then what happened to you. That doesn't mean you have all the answers behind, how it happened, why it happened. And
I mean, that's why I'm trying to figure out. And most of this stuff at this point is pretty much hands-on trial and error. So, or educated guess, I guess you could say.
You could have tried to cash in on this a long, long time ago. You could have written a book, probably had a movie out of this, no less. So, frankly, I hope you do kind of cash in on it.
I mean, it's kind of at this point, I'm basically at the point where it's kind of a requirement if I want to basically advance the research more or less. So,
and that is really what you want.
Money, I'm doing it for basically the learning, I guess.
Yeah, and that really is what you want, isn't it? You want to continue the research.
Yeah.
That must be you starting your computer up to continue your research.
No, it was an automatic restart of the computer. I happen to be sitting in front of, so.
I understand. All right, let's go to Hartsville, South Carolina. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Hello.
Hi, Art. This is Ness from South Carolina.
You're kind of hard to hear, so get close to the phone or something.
Oh, hi, Art. This is Ness from South Carolina.
Much better,
Thanks
yes.
For taking the call.
Yes.
Hey, Mike, I have a question, maybe somewhat off topic. I was just curious, let's say your creation or experiment would allow you to travel back in time to any period or moment you wanted. I was just wondering what time and why would you visit it, and is there anything you would change about it?
Well, believe it or not, I never really considered it because every way I know, it only goes forward. And even when it goes backwards, you can't go back to the day before you turned it on. So I never really thought about it too hard. I mean,
if you went back to the day before you built it.
Well, here's the thing about going backwards in time. I mean, this is why even theoretical physicists basically say you can't go backwards in time. For one, it violates every conservation law basically there is because, well, you can go back and meet yourself and then do that an infinite number of times. That's a lot of that's a lot of mass energy from nowhere.
Boy, it sure is. Well, it's just been an amazing story with you now, spanning now decades, and I just wonder what the next step is. I like the idea of a book, but in terms of your actual experimentation, on the one hand, you could say, I'm done, I don't want to die. On the other hand, you could say, I'm not done, I'm still in my prime, and if I did a big machine before, I can do a bigger one now or do it better.
Well, I don't know about bigger. I mean, the last one was pretty big, and I did basically, there was like there was like probably 4 or 5 years worth of experimentation I could do with that before I decided to basically I want to learn all I can. I mean, it's kind of like building a bigger and bigger particle accelerator. You want to basically milk it for all it's worth before you go build a bigger one. So
a very fast question, maybe from Connecticut, I think. Hello.
Hi. Am I speaking?
You are, but you've got very little time. So if you have a question, fire it out.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, do you really think it's time or probability space? Because I'm pretty sure there's no such thing as the past or future. It's all the now, and you're really just changing probability.
Mike, do you have any comments on that?
Well, I'm kind of like, if you ever read those books by Brian Greene, he has like 4 of them on quantum physics and all that. This is my personal view. My personal view is basically the future is actually every possible future exists simultaneously. We just can't see it.